This video is the part 3 of our series on Nazareth as the signpost to the lost 10 tribes of Israel, based on the apocryphal book of 2 Esdras 13:40-46. We've previously looked at the tribe's desire to 1. Go into a further country, and 2. How Arsareth has no established kingdoms in 722 BC. In this part, we continue to look at other factors that helps us to identify Arsareth from that text. 3. That they might there keep their statutes. The quest for a new homeland was driven by a profound desire to remain faithful to their God and true to their cultural heritage. Living in Israel, surrounded by neighboring nations, had become a constant struggle. The people were oppressed, forced to conform to the Canaanite way of life, and tempted by the vile practices of the heathen nations. In their new land, they sought the freedom to honor their God without compromise, to practice circumcision without persecution, and to reject the abhorrent practices of homosexuality, incest, bestiality, and child sacrifice to Molech. By leaving Assyria, they aimed to preserve their genetic heritage, untainted by intermarriage with the heathen nations, in accordance with God's commandments. This would ensure their distinct identity as a people, set apart by their faith and customs. Now consider the irony. If Europeans are indeed the lost tribes, why have they abandoned the most fundamental practice of the Israelite covenant, circumcision? In stark contrast, many Africans have maintained this sacred tradition, along with other Israelite customs. The tribe's exodus was a testament to their unwavering commitment to their faith and way of life. Should we not expect the same dedication from their supposed descendants? 4. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. In the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia's mighty rivers, the Euphrates and Tigris, shaped the destiny of ancient cultures. The Tigris, with its life-giving waters, played a pivotal role in the rise and fall of empires. Its southern stretch, a tranquil oasis, gave birth to legendary cities like Babylon, which flourished on its banks. The Medes and Persians, savvy conquerors, seized the opportunity to cross the river at its southern point, claiming Babylon as their own. But what about the tribe's journey? Contrary to popular belief, I firmly argue that they followed in the footsteps of Nehemiah, who traveled from Susa to Jerusalem, crossing the Euphrates near Babylon. A glance at the map reveals the obvious. To journey eastward into Persia, they would need to cross the Tigris, not the Euphrates. And remember, the tribes were already in Assyria, east of the Euphrates. Crossing the river would only make sense if they were heading west, towards Arabia. The stage was set for an epic adventure, one that would forever shape the course of their history and lead the tribes to their new homeland. 5. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood. At first glance, it's tempting to assume that God intervened with a miraculous sign, halting the Euphrates' flow for the tribes to cross. But upon closer reflection, we realize that people had been crossing this river for ages without divine intervention. If God intended to perform a miracle, he wouldn't have led them to the narrow passages where crossing was already possible. The account in Esdras reveals a more profound truth. The people crossed the Euphrates, and only then did the Most High manifest a sign. This echoes the Exodus narrative, where the cloud and pillar of fire appeared only after the Israelites had taken their first steps out of Egypt, leading them through the wilderness to the Red Sea, where God parted the waters. In 722 BC, I believe God similarly waited for the tribes to demonstrate their faith by crossing the Euphrates. Then, and only then, did he intervene, showing signs and holding back the floodwaters, which I believe were none other than the southern extension of the Red Sea, between Arabia and the Horn of Africa. This remarkable event marked their passage through the region of Arsareth, a journey we'll explore later in the video. But here's the thing. This text isn't just describing a physical crossing, it's a spiritual threshold. Faith and trust in God paved the way for a new chapter in their history. The tribe's courageous steps into the unknown were met with God's divine providence, ushering them into a new era of promise and possibility. 6. They passed through Arsareth, to the land. For centuries, the enigmatic Arsareth has beckoned scholars and adventurers alike, its secrets waiting to be unearthed. This mystical place has sparked a frenzy of debate, with various groups proposing an array of locations, each with its own compelling narrative. The intrigue begins with the sudden appearance of Arsareth on maps in the 1900s, nestled in Eastern Europe, where the Siret or Sereth River flows. This theory transports us to northeast Europe, near Khazaria, where the 10 tribes are believed to have traversed. But, like a tantalizing puzzle piece, another theory emerges, proposing a radically different scenario. Arsareth is in fact America, and the Native Americans are the direct descendants of the Israelites. However, this theory falters when confronted with the apocryphal account, which unequivocally states that the tribes passed through Arsareth before settling down. The geographical impossibility of the tribes dwelling in the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean renders this theory implausible. And so, the search for Arsareth continues, an irresistible enigma that refuses to be solved. Its true location remains a captivating mystery, a call to explorers and scholars, beckoning us to delve deeper into the unknown. Let us continue with the key points in 2 Esdras 13:40-46 that identify Arsareth. 7. No nation migrates its entire population by ships on an ocean. I'm here to challenge the status quo and offer a fresh perspective on the elusive location of Arsareth. The two dominant theories just don't hold water. The idea that the tribes migrated to North America by sea is a logistical nightmare. Imagine navigating treacherous waters, braving raging storms, and storing enough supplies for an entire nation, all within a mere 18 months. It's a recipe for disaster, and no leader in their right mind would risk everything on such a perilous journey. And as for the Sereth River theory, I believe there are far more compelling alternatives. Let's look at Nazareth, also known as Beni Jaakan, and Hazeroth, which are mentioned in the book of Jasher and Deuteronomy. These locations bear a striking resemblance to Arsareth and are situated in the same region where God led the Israelites after they left Egypt. Coincidence? I think not. It's clear that God is leading the people through the same place again, and Hazeroth in particular stands out as a prime candidate for Arsareth. Located in the wilderness of Paran, near the Dead Sea and bordering Edom, Moab, and Palestine, this region aligns perfectly with the biblical account. It's time to rethink our assumptions and consider the evidence. Hazeroth, not the distant Sereth River or the unfeasible American continent, is the most plausible passage point for the tribes. Let's embrace this new perspective and uncover the truth about Arsareth once and for all. 8. Arsareth is neither America nor Europe. It's in Arabia. Are you ready for a revelation that will shake the foundations of conventional knowledge? The answer to the elusive location of Arsareth lies in a city that resonates deeply in Christian history, Nazareth, the birthplace of Jesus Christ. Can you believe that this pivotal city is mysteriously absent from the Old Testament, yet its name bears an uncanny resemblance to Arsareth? The coincidence is too striking to ignore. Nazareth's significance in the New Testament makes it a compelling candidate for Arsareth, but why has this connection been overlooked for so long? The truth is, it disrupts the popular narratives that place the Israelites in Northern Europe or North America. These theories require a convenient blind spot regarding Nazareth's striking similarity to Arsareth. But we can't afford to ignore the evidence any longer. In reality, the tribe's journey across the Euphrates would have led them directly to the Arsareth region, which Nazareth perfectly embodies. The proof is hiding in plain sight, and it's time to reconsider the true location of Arsareth. This is the truth that has been hiding in the shadows of history. It's time to rewrite the narrative and place Arsareth where it rightfully belongs, in the heart of Nazareth. 9. The tribes had seen the vacant land before. Have you ever wondered how the tribes possessed knowledge of a mysterious, uncharted land, a promised haven that seemed almost too good to be true? Was it mere hearsay from travelers, or did some brave souls venture forth to scout the terrain? I believe it's unlikely that a leader would risk everything on mere rumors. No, they must have had eyewitness accounts from trusted scouts who had witnessed the land's vast expanse with their own eyes. The answer, I propose, lies in their earlier journey to Jericho, where they would have caught a glimpse of this fabled land on their way from Egypt to the Promised Land. The prophet Jeremiah corroborates this theory in Jeremiah 2:6, painting a vivid picture of a desolate land devoid of human presence on the western border of Arabia. Neither said they, "Where is the Lord that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through and where no man dwelt?" This was the unforgiving land they traversed, a land of drought, death, and darkness, yet also a land that held the promise of renewal and rebirth. And then there's Nazareth, with its roots in Nazar, meaning separate or consecrate. Could it be that Nazareth served as a divine signpost, guiding us towards the dispersed tribes? The similarity between Nazareth and Arsareth, meaning another land, is nothing short of striking. Perhaps God used Nazareth as a beacon, pointing the way to the separate land, the Arsareth region, where his people would find refuge and redemption. Let us continue with the final three key points in 2 Esdras 13:40-46 that identify Arsareth. 10. They would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country. The Bible reveals that the heathen, or Gentiles, inhabited the regions north and northeast of Arabia. If the 10 tribes had ventured into Europe, they would have been heading straight into the heart of heathen territory, a counterintuitive move if they were fleeing from it. Imagine instead the 10 tribes crossing the Euphrates towards Nazareth, leaving the heathen lands behind and braving the harsh Arabian desert. They wouldn't have retraced their steps to Israel. Instead, they would have turned southward, journeying parallel to the Red Sea, with the desert sun on their backs into a further country. Their path would have led them to the sea's narrower southern end, where God would have miraculously parted the waters, allowing them to cross over from present-day Yemen into the Horn of Africa, later known as Abyssinia. Some may think this analysis is audacious, even far-fetched, but I urge you to consider the remarkable parallels with the historical account of the Lemba tribe. They traced their migration from the Middle East to Yemen and then to Northeast Africa, mirroring the path I've outlined. And astonishingly, the Lemba tribe is now recognized as part of the lost 10 tribes. Let's re-examine the evidence with an open mind, willing to challenge conventional wisdom. The parallels are too striking to ignore. 11. They will remain there till the last days more. In the days of the revered historian Josephus, a tantalizing tale of the 10 tribes' exile has long been whispered among scholars. Theories abounded, but the truth remained shrouded in mystery. Undeterred, I embarked on a thrilling adventure to unearth ancient maps that might finally reveal the secrets of this enduring enigma. And then, like a treasure hidden in plain sight, I stumbled upon an extraordinary 18th century map that shook my understanding of history. The Kingdom of Judah, nestled in West Africa, gazed back at me, its presence a haunting reminder of the transatlantic slave trade's dark legacy. But that was merely the beginning. As I delved deeper, a breathtaking map emerged, depicting numerous Israelite cities scattered across Africa and Yemen like hidden gems. Though the map's date remains a mystery, the presence of the Dahomey and Ashanti empires hints at a creation between 1701 and 1894. These remarkable discoveries beckon us to rewrite the narrative of the lost tribes. It's a captivating journey as we venture into the uncharted territories of Israelite history. It's time to unravel the threads of a long-forgotten chapter and uncover the truth that has lain hidden for centuries. 12. The tribes passed through Arsareth into Africa. For centuries, the search for the 10 Israelite tribes has been shrouded in mystery, with many overlooking a crucial piece of the puzzle: Africa. This vast and majestic continent, spanning over 20% of the Earth's landmass, has long been underestimated in the quest for the tribe's whereabouts. Yet, it was here that the Israelites found a sanctuary, a land of refuge where they could preserve their faith, culture, and identity without external influences. Africa's vast expanse and relatively sparse population made it the perfect haven for the Israelites to maintain their genetic heritage and distinct identity. The Lemba tribe stands as a testament to this enduring legacy, a living, breathing connection to the past. But what about the biblical evidence? Does the canonical Bible support this theory? Look no further than Zephaniah 3 verse 10, which speaks of the end-time gathering of the people from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. This prophecy, uttered by the prophet Zephaniah in the northern kingdom of Israel, points to the African region as the residence of the Israelites in the last days. Deuteronomy 29:28 suggests that they will remain there until the end. For too long, scholars have speculated about the lost tribes' migration, pointing to various races and regions. But what if we've been looking in the wrong places? The Bible and Apocrypha reveal that Arsareth, the tribe's supposed direction of travel, is neither in Europe nor North America. Instead, 2 Esdras 13:40-46 indicates a westward migration through Arabia into Africa. Join me as we continue this groundbreaking journey to uncover the hidden history of the lost tribes. Let's explore the ancient maps, biblical prophecies, and cultural connections that reveal the astonishing truth about the Israelites' migration to Africa. Together, we can rewrite the narrative of this enduring mystery and uncover the secrets that have lain hidden for centuries. Are you ready to uncover the truth? If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to let us know your thoughts on this topic.